I don't know where
Can you get off my arcade machine, buddy? Sorry, my cat's climbing on my Street Fighter machine.
I see that.
Morgan, can you sleep there and not climb on the arcade stick? Okay.
Yeah, Do you know about Screw Attack, Micah?
I haven't actually. You want to know? Weird thing is, the day I registered on that site is the day when Mike got his Screw Attack tattoo. But I haven't been on there in a couple of years, actually. Yeah. So I don't know what's been going on lately.
Just got a question in the chat. What do I think of Busy Street? You know what? I'll say this. Some of them actually have really good points. Mm-hmm. And there was somebody who actually confronted me this week about asking me about my Amazon wish list. And you know what? They actually hit it right on the head. I don't need to be asking from that from my fans. If a fan wants to buy something from that, cool. I shouldn't have to advertise that.
I wondered why you took that off. I was like, okay.
Because you know what? It made a lot of sense. I don't need a thing of marshmallows to review Mass Effect. I don't need a shirt to talk about Castlevania. And I'm happy when people give me things. It helps me do the show. Clark, give you Dreamcast already?
I'm working on it.
And it makes a better show. And I'm so happy when people do that, but I never need to advertise it. When I ask for a game, I usually get it. And I never ask for anything new.
Yeah, you need to tell Mark to take off that donation button for MagFest that happened a couple months ago.
Oh, just send him an email. Just say, hey, Mike said to do this then.
Yeah, still have that donation button on the Tomb of the Unknown Podcast Review Day page.
Yeah, just send him an email tomorrow.
All right.
And, but I think a lot of the Busy Street guys, they call us out on certain things. And sometimes, like I said, they have really good points. And I'm really glad the guy who spoke to me mentioned that. He's like, Mike, you're better than this. And you know what? You're right. My integrity is worth more than that. And I think
he made my job easier with coding. So.
Yeah, so I think sites like that help keep sites like BT and That Guy with the Glasses honest. And, I think that's a good thing. We should be accountable to our audiences. And I think that's what I pride myself upon to be with Blistered Thumbs, with That Guy with the Glasses, and with any other outlets that I work with. It has to be transparency. Transparency means you're accountable. When you make a mistake, you own up to it.
Yeah, and if you do get a game from somebody, you do mention them.
This is why I stream the live stream for you all. I don't get ads on live stream.
George, nice guy George, donated some stuff during the summer. I haven't got a chance to review it yet, but his donation helped me do a lot of things. I've actually replaced some equipment. I've had to trade in some games. So I'm thankful for having people help me out like that. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
But to go with like Jill's thing, but there are so many people on that site that just hate us for whatever reason. For whatever reason. I don't know
who hates us.
Yeah, it's just, like, one of the things I don't like is some guy will say, they'll have a really good point, and then they'll attack Sean, or they'll attack Spoonie, or something like that. Like, guys, these are people too, right?
Yeah, what sites hate us? Like,
Busy Street, oh my god.
They hate us? BT?
Yeah, I've always found that sort of hate a little irrational. I mean, the day of my birthday, I was so bummed I didn't get to go, but, like, we raised $25,000, I think, for the Ronald McDonald House. Yes, we're evil people. We are terrible. We rape children. That's us. The fact of the matter is that though these guys do make good points and that things like good criticism can keep you honest, the problem is that it boils down to the fact that some of these people are probably just disgruntled guys who got banned on the boards. That Guy with the Glasses got banned on Spoonie's boards or wherever else, or maybe I banned them from BT. I know probably one of their contributors is one of the guys that I banned, but that's just a big part of it. It's just disgruntled guys, or they don't like the fact that someone trusts the opinion of one of the video reviewers. Well, the thing about being a video reviewer is, though you are primarily an entertainer, you're sometimes the group of people that like align with your tastes will vary. Every once in a while, there's usually a small group of people who really fit the same mold as that reviewer. There are gamers like Spoonie. There are gamers like Joe. And, Joe and I have gotten into huge debates about stuff. But it doesn't make sense to be mad for those people to trust a video reviewer. And that's one thing that I never understood with them. It's like, trust whoever you want. It's their life. Let them do it. You're not going to sway. opinion if they've got the same opinion as someone else.
One of the things that really pissed me off is how a lot of people were calling Joe on his Jeff Keighley thing. That made me really mad because, admittedly, that could have been handled better. But I think Joe came out of that debacle a better person.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said to Joe one of the guys we were like hanging out with said to him, you know what, Joe, sometimes the better man doesn't always win. And I think the thing that Joe got out of all that whole Jeff Keighley thing is he really connected with his community. He showed who he was, and that's why I think Joe is one of the best people I've ever worked with, because he is who he is. He represents an honest side to it. Is he always the best informed? No. Is he always the most knowledgeable? No. Does that mean he's honest? Yes. When he makes
and not to mention, he actually surrounds himself with people who do know. Like, him and I have very interesting conversations about gaming in general. That's what we were doing for most of the Mind Jack playthrough, because he and I reviewed it together. In fact, for those of you who don't know, I actually gave him the Detroit joke. But
oh, nice.
But that's one of those things where, as a gamer and as a critic, you really have to understand that it's best to surround yourself with other people who have different opinions, especially on a website like ours. Or else, you only get one opinion from someone who may or may not understand everything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I've been writing this series on my blog that's called How to Be a Better Journalist, and I'm going after being a good critic first, is because it's so easy to mess up. Like, we really when you think about it, we really tread on thin ice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever one thing that I said that it was like, sometimes some reviews I read, like if I go to Destructoid or I go to IGN, it's like talking to my neighbor who knows nothing about cars, about what car to buy next. He's not going to know he can only give me his experience, and if he doesn't have the clarity of mind to know that that's all he's got, then he's going to give me the most uninformed opinion ever, and it's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to know how the engine works to properly tell someone how it does it, So
we have a responsibility to be honest to our guys, and that's one of the things I always try and stick with review a day. I mean, there are days I don't get a chance to beat every game I play on Rad, but believe me, I fucking try. And it hurts to not be able to do that, but I have a responsibility. I have one day, X amount of hours, fucking go. And I feel bad about that sometimes, but I always make sure to do all my research from people that are more knowledgeable than me, so I can expand upon things I don't necessarily know about. And actually, somebody brought up an interesting point in the chat, talking about fans of certain other fandoms, which make things a little bit more interesting. AVGN fans and Nostalgia Critic fans. They are very good, and they are a blight at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same could be said of Noah's fan base at times, too.
Oh, yeah. Spoonie's fan base is... Oh, boy.
I like Spoonie, but I'm not particularly fond of how sometimes he treats his fans. But that's his prerogative, too. That could be very well part of the persona.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because you have to, I mean, Howard Stern gets often called his fans fucking jerk-offs. So, that's fine. But, I don't know. It's like, with the most recent thing that happened with Spoonie, and reading about the Busy Street stuff, I think people on the internet sometimes forget, and Destin from Destin, formerly of Screw Attack, made a really good point in a blog post I think he wrote on Go Nintendo or something. And it was something along the lines of, don't forget there's another person on the end of the keyboard.
Yeah.
And a really good thing is example, and actually Greg just mentioned Spoonie, and I think Spoonie's a great example of this. In person, he is the complete opposite of what you see in his videos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen videos of him. He is different.
I sat down, I've had dinner with him and Scarlett, I've had lunch with him and Skitch and a few other people at MagFest. He is such a nice guy. Like, we just sat down and just talked. And he's a legitimately interesting guy. And I think when fans go on the attack in the name of James Rolfe, in the name of Spoonie. It's not a good thing when you go after somebody. And I think everyone forgets the fact that words do occasionally hurt. And it makes me so mad when I see people go after people like Sean or go after people like Linkara's girlfriend, Liz.
Yeah,
Like, like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like,
Dude, they went after. I heard a story once about the fans went after Scarlett so bad that she doesn't want to appear on camera ever again.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's bullshit, guys.
I know, it's like,
Yeah.
dude,
I mean,
what the hell?
people went
That
after
things may change now, but
Yeah, I mean,
I should probably get more hate mail now.
people go
Oh,
after
yeah.
me because of the screw attack tattoo. Like, Mike, you're a traitor. No, I work with both communities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like-
you've had that tattoo for years, man. You've had that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it
Not
doesn't
to
have
mention-
to be an either-or situation.
Yeah.
Like, you can, just like you can have fans in both, communities, you can have loyalties to both communities, too. I mean, like, Screw Attack's been good to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And
still,
freaking Craig is amazing.
yeah, like, I'm still friends with
Scarlett
Ron
is
and
taller
Craig.
than me, and I am 6'1".
And, I mean, sometimes it gets a little interesting at times, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really fucking weird, but, it's so weird, though, that people are willing to take their fandoms and everything else to such extremes that it actually draws actual ire. People actually legitimately get fired up about it.
Yeah.
It's this playground mentality, and it's got to end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I agree.
Well, when you look at the combined maturity of the people who make up the community, this can sometimes hit around playground level.
I mean, I think we are as good as the worst website on the net. Which
4chan?
is, yeah. And 4chan has legitimately done some really good things. They've caught pedophiles, they've caught criminals, they've done some really good stuff. But it's when the bad things get out, that's who we are. That's all of us, not just 4chan or that guy or Screw Attack. That's us. And we
Yeah.
have a responsibility to do something about it, which is terrible. And no one wants to stand up and be that guy. Because the second you do, you're going to get shot down. And it's hard to be a uniting voice on the internet. And we've seen examples of people coming together for common causes, but when it comes to take action, everybody falls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in Canada, we're fighting this thing called the usage-based billing. And everybody signed the fucking petition. They did this. They wrote letters, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to show up to the rallies, crickets. No one came.
Jesus.
And I think that's how the internet is come too. Like, we get all fired up, but as soon as something catches our attention, we walk away. And but then again, wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we all could agree to the mentality of there's no lines, there's no divisions. And I think you see this so much in the Western world. I mean, actually, Sean Faust brought up a really good point with me some time ago. And he said this to me. People troll me because I'm fat. People don't troll you, Mike, because they can't see you. And I found that really insightful. Because I think Sean hit it right on the head. People only have to make assumptions based upon me because all they hear is a voice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disturbing. But that's the way it should be. If you just listen to one voice, you don't have to put a face to it, listen to a voice. You could change a lot of things. But the second you bring a face in, you start making assumptions. You start doing this, you start doing that and the other thing. And then it all falls apart.
A lot of that has to do, I think, with the fact that human beings are so, like, visually centric with the way they learn and form opinions and stuff. Like, I can get right into this, but I just wanted to say that no matter what, if you're in the public eye, you're going to be criticized for anything. I mean, even if you're completely perfect in every way, which does not exist in nature, like, people are going to criticize you because that's just what they do.
One of the things, I'm actually really surprised I haven't drawn a lot of criticism for what I do. I'm really surprised.
Well, that's because
Happy
you're
for
friggin'
it.
awesome.
Happy for it. Believe me.
I don't know what it is about you that is just so, like, you're like a teddy bear almost. You're like a cuddly, cursing teddy bear.
Thank you.
But he's also a sack boy.
It's true.
Look, I made him blush.